The 16-year-old girl was killed. Those two cases have shown a spotlight on the treatment of rape in India, where some 40,000 cases were reported in 2016. At least 16 people have been arrested linked to those two crimes. And to talk a bit more about this latest one now, let's bring in Shreya Banerjee in New Delhi. Shreya, what more can you tell us?
Well, as you mentioned, two serious incidents there in Jharkhand. In one of them, the girl is still battling for her life in hospital. In the other one, she was killed. She was abducted and raped by a group of drunk men while her parents were away at a wedding. She was taken to a deserted spot and raped there. When her parents found out, they reported the crime to the village council, who asked the alleged suspect to pay 600 euros in fine and do about 100 sit-ups. This allegedly angered the suspect, and who then went to the victim's house, beat her parents up, and set the house on fire with her inside. 15 out of the 18 people who've been accused of this crime have been arrested. The head of the village council as well, for having meted out justice on his own and not having reported the crime to the police. Village councils, just a little aside, is that village councils often settle disputes in rural India, bypassing sort of a very lengthy and exhaustive and expensive judicial system. So they carry no real legal weight, but they do have significant day-to-day influence. So in this case, the village council has also been sort of targeted by the police for having meted out justice on their own. The chief minister of Jharkhand in the eastern part of India has called this incident barbaric and has vowed that there will be stringent punishment. He has announced compensation in the order of about 1,200 euros for the victim's family.
Shreya, of course, these horrific incidents come as India on a national level is doing a lot of soul searching about the amount of sexual violence in the country.
Yes, indeed. So this comes in the wake of several rape incidents being reported over the past month or so. One in particular that really shocked people and brought people to the streets was the gang rape and murder of an 8-year-old in Jammu and Kashmir. In the wake of that attack, India, the headlines of all Indian newspapers have been dominated by crimes against women, including several rapes. Indian authorities have been under immense pressure to react. And in the wake of the gang rape of the 8-year-old, Prime Minister Narendra Modi did approve the death penalty for those who rape girls under 12, and he's also raised the minimum sentences for the rape cases of women and girls under 16. But activists are still sort of wondering if this harsher punishment can act as a deterrent, and sometimes can even backfire, especially in India, because the number of cases of rape that actually end in conviction are about 25%. So, and there are still glaring gaps in the enforcement of these policies. The cases are frequently mishandled. Survivors don't necessarily get justice. And as you see in this case, there is a penchant to try and take law into their own, people take law into their own hands. So activists want to focus on strengthening existing laws and ensuring speedy trials and safety of victims and witnesses, and want there to be a greater emphasis on changing India's patriarchal culture to create greater awareness about crimes against women. Because in India's hugely patriarchal society, while more rapes are being reported and laws might be in place, there are still several barriers for victims to get justice, which include denigrating ways in which victims are treated by authorities and how seriously these crimes are actually taken.
Shreya, thank you for that. Shreya Banerjee there reporting for us from New Delhi.